If you're like me, chances are you fell out of love with your makeup routine that you have been doing for years. Now, I'm mainly talking about those of us with maturing skin, but really this could apply to anyone. Now, I'm 48, and I would say probably about a couple years ago, I started to notice that my traditional makeup routine that I've been doing for years just was not cutting it anymore. Now, of course, you see me putting my palette together right now. This is Seint Cream Makeup. You may have seen this makeup system before. And here are my tins that I'm putting in. They are magnetic, and this is the magnetic palette. My whole face literally fits in this cute little compact. Now, of course, we have different sizes, but this particular one is really handy for on the go. Okay, so where do I start with what this has done for my skin? It has balanced my skin, and the finish of this makeup is literally skin-like. So the more I started using it, the more I wanted to share it. And this has literally been the most rewarding experience so far. Wonderful customers that I have met. I not only help them with their makeup, but also with their skincare because that is my passion. Okay, so you see how easy that was for me to just throw in and put my palette together. It's super easy, whatever strikes my fancy for any given day. And I am going to show you super light coverage because with the brush that I'm using today, the blush and bronzer brush, you can get light to medium coverage. Today I'm going to show you a little bit more on the light side, and I like to do this for work days. One thing about this cream makeup is you'll see that I never have to close this compact. It is open and I am just dabbing with my brush and very, very light taps, and the makeup just spreads so beautifully. It's very emollient, and this is part of the reason why I love this so much. I'm an esthetician, like I said before, so I'm obsessed with ingredients, and these ingredients actually help to protect the skin barrier and keep moisture locked in. Very important for mature skin, but really any skin at any age. Now, these shades and my palette, of course, is customized to me. In order to get your own palette, I have all of my information in the description below, and you can contact me and we could talk about what it is that you want out of your makeup, and I will help you put together your own custom palette. You can start out as large or as small as you want if you want to just get started to see how this makeup will work for you, and then you could add to your collection later. All is possible. Now, for me specifically, I am in between shades, so you can see that I'm dabbing into both of those. And another thing that I have right next to it, that would be a contour. Now, a lot of people that I have talked to, a lot of my customers in the beginning, are kind of leery about contouring, but I am telling you, I wasn't doing it before, and now all of a sudden I'm obsessed with it just because of the ease of this makeup system and how natural it looks, and it really does make a huge difference in shaping the face. And I'm also demonstrating how you could do your whole face with just one brush. And today in particular, I'm using this blush and bronzer brush. And you saw that I went around my eyes very, very lightly. I didn't want to completely blink everything out because, like I said, super light coverage. And then I just went with my finger and just kind of tapped out a little bit more of that highlight. And I do have an eye primer on. I always wear an eye primer so I won't get any creasing. And right now what you just saw is the Vanilla Dust Setting Powder that I use with the same brush and tapped on my eyelids. It's very convenient to have that in the palette as well. And now here is the contouring portion. But I'm not really doing contour. I am doing a Brontour. So I am kind of doing a multitasking. This particular product that I'm using is actually not a contour. It is the Suede lip liner, but it has the same kind of consistency as the contour. So it works really well, and I love the tone of this shade because it is a little bit more on the neutral side, has a little bit of warmth. It's not as cool, so that's why it's working really well as a Brontour. And I am purposely putting this on super light. I just wanted something a little more subtle today, so I thought it would be great to show you that you can achieve a little bit heavier of a look. Watch my other videos. I have a whole bunch of different scenarios and different types of makeup systems. We have Demi, which is more about color correcting. And today, though, I am showing you, especially with this brush, how you could achieve light coverage, but still have polished, smooth skin. I'm going for a subtle blush today. This is actually a gloss formula. It's called Summer Love. A little bit more on the pink side. As you can see, it's like a neutral pink, but it is so, so pretty and it feels great. And I love the glow that this gloss gives. Now, I'm a little bit on the drier side. Of course, we'll talk about your skin type and what it is that you could do, because even if you have oily skin, believe it or not, you can wear this cream makeup. It's all about what you would need to set your makeup, which we will talk about. Okay, so here is the Suede lip liner, like I said, that I used as my Brontour. But I'm going to show you that this is a lip liner, so it's nice that you have this one little tin, and it is a multitasking product. Sometimes I even use this on my eyes, just as that very sheer eyeshadow to add a little bit of definition, and it also looks really nice because it stays dewy. Now, of course, this works great as a lip liner. As you can see, I am doing this very, very subtly. I'm still practicing with this because I'm kind of going a little bit out of the line, but I don't want it to be very obvious that I'm going out of the line. You'll see that I'm going to tap this with my finger, and the consistency of this actually just, it kind of looks like a shadow, not really like a lip liner that you would get from a pencil. And now I am using this gloss, and because it is pink, it's a little bit cool toned, but you can mix and match any of these things. You can make your own custom colors, which is what is super fun about this makeup system as well. So you can see it just looks like a very sheer, natural lip balm. And now here you see, I am just going to quickly swap this out. I like using a bobby pin. Some people use like the tin lids to take this out, but I just find this easier. Just kind of lift the corner. And I am going to pop in the Bella bronzer. Now I'm showing you these two together because if you get this brush as your brush to get started and you do your whole face with it, if you get this as a collection with the bronzer, there's a savings of $11. So you're pretty much getting the bronzer for free. And this shade, this is Bella bronzer, is my absolute favorite. It's the most neutral of the bronzers that we have. And right here, I'm just demonstrating the fluffy side of this brush is really good for blending your makeup at the end. But my absolute favorite part about this fluffy end is to place my bronzer. You could also use the smaller side to place your bronzer, but this side is a dream. I mean, look at that. I think this is one of my favorite parts of application just because of how this goes on. And this Seint bronzer formula is just so gorgeous. You see how easily it spreads. So I just kind of tap it on where I need it to go because the bronzer hits on top of the cheekbones instead of underneath the cheekbones, like what you do with contour to chisel them out and to kind of enhance your cheekbones. This sits on the top of the cheekbones. And with this brush, I mean, it just does all the work for you. And I'm doing it very subtly. You could build it up little by little as I'm showing you here. Personally, I like to warm up the sides of my eyes. I just find it more flattering, especially like with more maturing skin. I feel like this gives more vitality and more life to the skin on the sides of the temples. Another thing I like about this fluffy side, because you can see how flexible it is, and it's super, super soft, is when I get down to my neck here, it just covers a lot more surface area, so it does not take long at all to get the coverage that you want. Now here I'm showing you how easy it is to blend cream makeup. It is very, very forgiving. If you get a little bit overboard, like I tend to do, especially with my bronzer, I just tapped a tiny, tiny bit into my main shade of foundation and just fixed it. And then I just added a little bit more blush. I was like, I wanted a little bit more pink instead of just the bronze. So this here is the natural, light, almost bordering onto medium coverage. And this is pretty much how I wear my makeup every day. Now, I am just going to show you in this particular palette how I curated it today. I just put a couple of shadows in there because I'm just going to do a 2 shadow combo. Now, since I have my Vanilla Dust setting powder, it's a translucent powder. I can use it to set my eyelids. Again, this is all like multitasking. So this is setting the cream highlight that I had on my eyelids. And like I said, I didn't want to do anything too heavy. So you could see it just looks like my skin. It's just a little bit brighter. So now I'm going to go into the eyeshadows. So with this, I have a little bit of a hooded eye. So I'm going to go a little bit above because I want to create the illusion that I don't have a hood. And this really, really does help. And it is so easy to do these 2 shadow combos. This shade is called Lullaby, and everything will be in the description, everything that I'm using. So I'm just blending this, super, super simple. And you'll see it's kind of like a wash color, which is exactly what I wanted today. Something subtle and light. And here I go again with my Vanilla Dust setting powder, again, multitasking. And if I put this on the upper brow bone, you can see it's highlighting very, very subtly, even though this is translucent powder. The contrast is just giving me that brightening effect. And now this is a really pretty shimmer called Peppa, but is very subtle, a little bit on the peachy side. And that I just put on with my finger to give it a little more punch. Now, what I just showed here is the balm. And this is also multitasking because I use this under my eyes, but you could also use it to make your eyeshadow pop even more, almost like a cream shadow. And you can see the difference between them. It almost looks more foiled on this eye where I have the balm underneath. And now I'm just going to blend everything just to make sure that it's seamless. Now back to the balm. Now I neglected to do this on camera today, but when I was doing my skincare, I did put the balm under my eyes. I always wear the balm under my eyes, especially for maturing skin. It works so well and it keeps everything so hydrated. And then as you can see under my eyes right now, how good this cream makeup looks. So again, multitasking. I just love it because everything is in the palette and you could use a lot of these products for more than one thing. And even though I put it on my eyelid in order to punch up that eyeshadow a little bit more to make it more foiled, it is very, very light. I just tapped a minimal amount of that balm and it gave me that effect. And now you see that I am cleaning up just underneath where I went a little overboard with my shadow there because I deepened up the outer corner with that same shade, Lullaby. But because I put it on a little bit more concentrated, it looks like a little bit of a different color. It just gave me more depth and I went under my lash line. So that's how easy it is. I just used this blush and bronzer brush, which you can get with the bronzer in the bronzer collection. So that is it. Super light and pretty. Again, all of my info is down below. Contact me so we can get you your own custom palette.